Good morning, with you right through until 12 midday. There's a group called the Countess, and they're urging the public to vote no in the upcoming referendum. Sorcha Ní Lachlan indeed joins me from Gorton, County Galway, and she joins me on the line today. Sorcha, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us today. So, you've written to us. Who are the Countess, can I ask you? Who is this group?
So we're an advocacy group for women, set up for women and children in Ireland. And we were set up in 2020 online, and then since then we've expanded greatly. And our aim is to protect and advocate for women and children in Ireland, particularly around issues to do with gender ideology, gender self-ID and other related topics. We're not political, we're not affiliated with any religion, and we see ourselves as feminists. But we do have obviously men in our group as well, and a couple of different areas that we campaign in: schools, prisons. We have lesbian erasure group, so sports is my remit, and so we cover a lot of different areas.
So why are you advocating then a no vote in this regard? We spoke with Michael McDowell yesterday, indeed the former Minister for Justice, and he was quite emphatic about this, and his message was quite clear. What is your message, and is it as clear as that?
We saw Michael McDowell's speeches and things like that on this, and we would agree with him. Our concern is that this proposal essentially erases the recognition of the contribution of women, and in particular mothers, to the good of the whole of society. And this is something that often isn't really acknowledged very widely. It is in our constitution. It says that the state recognises by her life within the home that is for the common good. And the second part is of particular concern to us because it says that the state shall endeavour to ensure that mothers shall not be obliged by economic necessity to engage in labour, to the neglect of their duties in the home. So we feel that it's the least honest. Women do the vast majority of care in the home. They do double the hours of caring as men do, and more than double the hours of housework. And rather than sort of tackle that in a supportive way, the government decided that we'll just erase that recognition, and also erase any possible protection for mothers who would like to be able to stay at home with their children. We feel that the replacement article doesn't go far enough in terms of protecting carers, and in particular the cared for. So it gives no right to people to independent living. It pushes all the care back onto families, and it's a very weak aspirational statement. Strive to support such provision. It doesn't, as compared with endeavour to ensure. Women make up 98% of all carers. They are 94% of stay-at-home parents. And caring and parenting or mothering are all different things. They should be recognised differently.
But I mean,
so we feel that
you're saying that the government. You're saying sorry, could cut across you there. You're saying that the government are erasing what from our system?
So they're erasing. Well, first of all, the words mother and woman.
No. What are they erasing,
Sorcha? That the recognition of women.
But how do you mean they're erasing the recognition of women? I'm just trying to tease this through with you.
Well, the article mentions women. Yeah. Particularly as those who give us within her family life, so in a tailach, gives to the state of support. That whole article will be removed and replaced with language around caring within a family that doesn't recognise who does the caring. There's actually a survey done by Family Carers Ireland. I'll just bring it up here, which says that family carers prefer to be recognised by their relationship to the cared for. So the most commonly word chosen was mother, then carer, then daughter, and then for male carers, son, husband, and family carer. So carer is actually at the bottom of the list of what people would like to be referred to as. Mothering is different to caring for anybody else. When you mother your child, you are responsible for their well-being. You're responsible for their whole of them, not just sort of this kind of nebulous parenting that everyone can do. But you're the one who's pregnant, you're the one who gives birth, you're the one who nurtures your infant in the early days, you're the one responsible for all of those things. And yes, fathers do play a role for sure, and that could be recognised by an addition to this article. However, erasing the article erases all parents. It just refers to carers after that, which is not the same thing at all.
But Sorcha, is this conversation just semantics? Is this just nitpicking on a word? I mean, have we not come along?
Well, no, because...
hang on a second. Have we not come a long way? Hang on a second. Have we not come a long way in the last 20, 30 years when it comes to equal rights for people? And yet you're saying that they're raising a section of it. Why are they doing it if it's so wrong? There's equal rights
for sure, but there isn't actually equality in society. It is still women who do all that work. It is still women who do the majority of housework. It is still women who stay at home. And in fact, 60 or so percent of women would prefer not to have to work outside the home. So we're erasing all of their contributions, and we're taking away that choice for them when we remove this article which says that the state should endeavour to ensure. Strive to support is much less powerful in its obligation on the state. And the second article that they would like, so they want to remove that whole article which refers to women and mothers and their contribution to society and replace it with an article about care within the home. That doesn't give any rights to disabled people or elderly people in terms of how they would like the care to be given to them. It pushes everything back on the family. So you've erased women and mothers to replace it with a weaker article that doesn't recognise their contributions. So no, I don't think it's maintaining equality, because we don't have equality right now. And even if we did, mothers are still different. The role of mother is different from the role of carer or the role of parent, and it should be acknowledged.
Situations, I think there's confusion across the board for people. I mean, if you were reading any of today's newspapers, which I was early this morning, I mean, most of the pundits are now saying that this is going to be a huge yes vote that will come out in this respect. But what you're saying to me is effectively that people don't understand what they're going to be voting for, and that this has long-term consequences. And I'm trying to get my head around that.
Well, it does have long-term consequences, yeah, and we don't actually know what the consequences will be. And in fact, that poll showed that an awful lot of people didn't understand. It said half of all voters, 53%, say they know hardly anything at all about the referendums. So although it has popular support at the moment, it is clear that the long-term implications of a yes vote aren't really understood. And that's even clear when you hear what the ministers are saying, because for the second vote, which we are also advocating for a no vote, even ministers said that it would have to be decided in the court what a family was made up of. So this is the addition of the words "and other durable relationships" to the article that defines the family. And that kind of wording is extremely vague, extremely open to interpretation, and will end up in the courts being determined by a court as opposed to being determined by us, the Irish people. Our organisation is very familiar with unintended consequences. That's why we were formed, and for this reason we would advocate a no vote in the second part of the referendum as well.
Where can they get further details on the Countess?
Yeah, you can check us out on the countess.ie. We're across X, as it is now, or Twitter, as it was known formerly. Facebook, we have a YouTube channel called the Countess Conversations, and we are on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Sorcha, thank you.
We're running a GoFundMe at the moment, because we're not an NGO. We get no funding from outside sources. We're entirely supporter based. We're entirely volunteer based as well. So all the work we do it comes from a place where we see that this is really essential work. And if anyone likes us, would like to support us, we'd be very grateful.
Sorcha, thank you for joining us today on the programme.
Thank you very much.
From a morning routine